In this video, we create an animation controller for 3D soldier character. We download additional animation skeleton and attach to the soldier to add dramatic effects. Then we write few lines of code to control animation and a movement. We create a blend trees to blend multiple animation. And finally, we make the Toon soldier dance. So I have gone ahead and created an empty project. Now I need a 3D character for this project, and I found an awesome character in Unity Asset Store. It's called Toon Soldier World War II Demo. If your Asset Store window is not open, you can go to Window, then choose Asset Store. So let's give it a shout out to Polygon Blacksmith for making available this cool character for free. So I'm gonna use it. Let's import it. The project comes with a bunch of folders and prefab, and there's a scene called ts underscore www2 demo.scene. Let's open it. There's our Toon Soldier, and couple of directional light is there. It's very simple scene setup. Now, if you click on the Toon Soldier prefab from hierarchy, you will see there is an animator component, and it has an avatar and a controller, which is empty right now. This one needs an animator controller, which allows us to arrange and maintain a bunch of animation clip and transition for the character. So how it works is this controller will have reference to the animation clip that we will use within this character. So if you go to the animation folder, then we got four animation. So we're gonna attach this four animation to this character using the animator controller. So let's create a folder called animator, then create animator controller. Let's open up. Now if you don't have an animator window, then you can do so by clicking to the window, then animator. This will open a state transition diagram, which is manages the various animation clip and transition between the animation. Now all we need to do is we just need to drag all four animation from the animation folder and drop here. The orange color one is indicating the default animation that will be played when we open the game. Now you need to be smart enough to figure out that the combat underscore idle is the default animation. Now attach this controller to our character animator component. Cool. Now let's play the game. And our character is alive. It's playing the idle animation. Cool. Now if you want to connect another animation, for example the guard idle, instead of combat idle, just right click on the entry, then choose make transition. Now it will show you an arrow line, and then select the idle animation to connect. Now to make this default state, right click and set as layer default state. Cool. Now it will play this animation as the default. If you want to see how other animation will look like, you can just quickly click jump to state, and it will show you what the rest of the animation will looks like in our character. Now sometimes we want to loop an animation. For example, when my character is running, I want to keep running as long as my run button is pressed. So to do that, we can click on the run animation and just make sure the loop time option is checked. Uh, Now this demo character only comes with four animation, but I want to add some more animation to my character, for example jumping or when it die or hit by something. You can just go to this website. It's called Mixamo. They have a huge collection of 3D character animation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna search for dead. See this zombie dead. Wow, cool, but it's too much for our Toon Soldier, I think. So let's search another one. I think this one is cool. Let's download this one. So I only need this animation, so I'm gonna choose noise skin and FBX for Unity and download. Now let's drag the file in our animation folder. Now go to the rig and choose humanoid. Uh, Now drag it to the animator window and create a transition, and then let's play. Awesome, now our character has a dead animation. Now you can create a stack of animation so it will play one after another. If you have a sequence of animation, then you would want to do this. So for example, I want my character to shoot, then start running and keep running. So to do that, we want to create a transition from the shoot animation to the run animation. Cool, let's play. Awesome. Now you can also do something fun. Let's download the Samba dancing animation. Okay. Repeat the same thing that we did before. Change the rig to a humanoid and then make the transition. And haha, awesome. Cool. So our Walrus soldier is dancing now. I don't know where it might be useful. Maybe when we win the game or something, then you can play this. Now let's make our soldier to jump. Now create a transition from ideal to jump and from jump to idle. So we want our character to jump, then after the jump done, it's back to the idle animation. Now we can control this transition from the program. So to do that, let's go to parameter, then click the plus icon, then choose the trigger. I'm gonna call it the is jump. Now click the arrow that pointing to from ideal to jump in the condition section. Click the plus and add our trigger parameter that we just created, which is jump. So when is jump is triggered, it will move to jump animation from the ideal animation. We're going to activate this is jump from our code. Let's create a folder called script, and let's create a script named player controller. We need to make a reference of animator component that attached with our character. Now when user click jump button, anim.setTrigger, which is jump, make sure the parameter is exactly the same. Let's attach the script to our soldier now. Cool, let's play. Now you will notice there is a lag when it makes the transition from idle to jump, because it play the full idle animation, then it moved to the jump. But what we want is for whenever user click it, we immediately want to move to jump. To fix it, we can just click the arrow that we're moving from idle to jump, and there is an option called has exit time. Just untick it and let's run. So whenever I click it, immediately moves to jump animation. Cool. Now, if you want to call any animation from the script, you can also do that. Let me connect my death animation. Then let's back to the code. I want to call the death animation when I press K. So anim dot play. Make sure you put the exact animation name, and then layout is -1, which is the base layer, and then start animation from the beginning, which is 0. Uh, cool. Wow. Now every time we press K, our soldier dies. Okay, you can also start the animation from halfway. For example, if I change to 0.5, cool. Now one more trick I want to show you is you can make the start position random. So in it makes the animation looks much more dynamic. So when soldier die, it start from the different position, so it feels like it is a different animation every time. Yeah. Now let's create a new parameter. This time we're going to create a boolean. Let's call it isRun. Now make sure the transition arrow from idle to run is selected. Now in the condition section, let's add a new condition, and this time is run and set it to true. When from run we back to the idle animation, click that arrow and choose the condition is run to false. So when run is false, we go back to idle. When run is true, we run the running animation. Let's back to the code. Let's say horizontal the equal to input direct x is horizontal. So now this will return a number between -1 and 0 depending on the left or right arrow we press. So if you press left or right, we will run, otherwise back to idle. Cool. Let's play. Cool. Now I want to make the run and jump together. So let's make the transition from run and jump to run again. Now, if we are running, we want to move to jump if we press the jump key. So let's try the condition to this is jump. So if is jump is trigger while you are running, we'll move to jump. Same way from jump, we will back to running if is running is true. Cool. Now we can run while we are running. We can also jump. Otherwise, if you do nothing, then back to normal. Great. Now, if you notice, while we jump it back to idle for a second, then back to running again, which we don't want actually. So let's add a condition because there's no condition from jumping to back to idle. So let's create a boolean is idle. Add this to the jump to idle. In the code, let's add um, while we're running, it's idle is false. If we are not running, then ideal is true. Great. Play that fix it. Now I'm going to show you how to blend an animation. For this, I downloaded four walk animation: backward, forward, left, and right. Right click and create a state and choose from new blend tree. Let's call it a movement. Now let's create two float parameter, one x and another one is y. Double click on the movement, so it will open up the blend tree option. Now since we have two parameter x and y, we will need a blend type 2D simple directional, and let's choose the x and y parameters. Now add four motion fields, and we're going to attach our four animation that we have right now: left, right, backward, and forward. So now we want to blend all these four animation based on the x and y values. So the condition is gonna be if x equal to 1 and y equal to 0, then we wanna walk forward. If x is negative and y is still 0, then we walk backward. If x is 1, y is minus 1, we'll walk left. And if x equal to 1 and y equal to 1, then walk right. Let's back to our base layer. Now make transition from ideal to movement. So we need to add a condition when our character will move from ideal to movement animation and when it will back to ideal again. So let's create one transition here. We had x value. X is actually bigger than 0. Then we activate this transition. And we need to make a similar transition again for the y. So if y value change, we also want to move to this movement animation. So we create another transition. You can just click on the box and you can see all the transition that we have right now. So we added x to this transition so far. For the next one, we're gonna add y. If y is greater than 0, then it will active. So if x and y value are bigger than 0, then our soldier will start playing the movement animation. And now we need to back to ideal if x is less than 0.1 and y is 0.1, which is close to 0. Let's check, run it. I'm gonna move the X and Y slider. Cool. You see, our character is moving from one animation to another. So it's left, right, up and down. Awesome. I think there's some issue with the back to ideal option. Let me check. Okay, so if we put a greater here, it should be less than, not a greater than. So when x and y become less than 0.1, we will back to ideal. Let's run again. Great, it's working now. So that's all for this tutorial. I Hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will see you in the next one.